And so I want to ask you about this. So because they had the introduction in January, whatever, the Stablecoin Act, which seems pretty terrifying to me. And the United States, the IRS has just introduced the whatever we're going to Operation Steal Your Money, whatever they're calling, whatever ridiculous operation, like Found Treasure. That's what it's called. Operation Found Treasure. The IRS wants to dig through anybody that's made money, and they claim that they're going to be getting people to, forensic accountants to go on the blockchain and see who's got what and try to charge you taxes. So how, since these central governments have realized they can't shut Bitcoin down, because it's decentralized, how do you see them reacting? I mean, we see some of them, like China just they have their digital yuan, but they're centralized, obviously. How do you see, specifically the United States government, with people like Janet Yellen, she just got a stern talking to by Liz Warren? Man, that's great. That's what Liz Warren's good at. Anyway,
what's going to happen? As we've been pointing out, what's going on right now is that the money printer has gone berserk, and they're printing trillions and trillions, like it's 8 or 9 trillion in the last few months. I mean, and globally, it's tens of trillions of dollars are being printed, because that is at the stage of hyperinflation. So the Venezuelanization of the global economy is happening, and paper money is over the past 300 years, the number of fiat money schemes that have been introduced by various countries over the past 300 years, the track record for ones that have lasted is exactly 0. None have lasted or lost 99% of their purchasing power. So effectively 0. So therefore, I can say with a great deal of confidence that both the US dollar, the euro, the yen, and any other fiat money that's existent today will also go to 0, because they all have. Now, against that backdrop, the central banks, of course, and the governments are panicking. But also at the same time, because Bitcoin is global, you've got other countries out there who are saying, ha, 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 the US is finally screwed up. They finally got themselves into such a bad situation. They're printing like $1 trillion a month. So what they're doing is they're buying Bitcoin and they're mining Bitcoin. And we're getting into a situation where the US has to come to Jesus moment and decide, are we going to let these other countries become richer than us because they own Bitcoin? Or are we going to let ourselves be relegated to third world status because the US government doesn't own any Bitcoin? And they're going to say, you know what, we got to get in this race. We're going to enter the hash race, what's called the hash war. And we're going to say, the IRS is going to say, hey, pay your taxes in Bitcoin. We'll give you a 60% discount. We'll give you an 80% discount. And I'll be like, well, give me a 90% discount and I'll feel better about it, right? They're going to be desperate for Bitcoin, because Bitcoin is, like I always say, you don't change Bitcoin, Bitcoin changes you. All these governments think they're going to impose their will. They're going to change the law. They're going to make demands, right? Meanwhile, Bitcoin's like, I got you, bro. Like, it changes people. It's going to change governments. It changes everything. And to see it happening on the nation state level is not surprising.
Well, we're in a globalized world, and this could bring quite a lot of peace, because since 1971, we've been on an all fiat standard backed by the US dollar, and the US dollar exerts its hegemony through that US dollar settlement layer. So all trade settles through the New York Fed, essentially, even for a fraction of a second before it settles between France and somewhere in Africa, for example. So the Fed and all the government officials in the Treasury understand that they're losing that exorbitant privilege. They're losing that sort of control mechanism. So that's on one hand internationally, but domestically, what you can read into some of the statements from both the Fed and the Treasury, who are starting to work more and more hand in hand, right? This is where the danger is starting to come in, is that we've had all these, especially since 2008, all of this overt, like huge quantities of money printing, which has mostly been from the Fed. And it's what the Fed can do. The Fed can't print money. What it can do is print credit. It could give credit to all these banks who, we all see, everybody could see it. We see the evidence. They've become fabulously wealthy. Jamie Dimon's a billionaire. Lloyd Blankfein's a billionaire from doing a basic utility function of running a bank. But they never give any of that money. It never trickles down to the people. So even the Fed is saying there's not much more we can do. But that's what they want to do with their, because the banks refuse to lend and they can't force the banks to lend. And you see that with the velocity of money, by the way, it's collapsed while the volume of money has increased so hugely. They're not lending it out. So what the Fed wants to do with their FedCoin is deposit it directly into your bank account. So they want to bypass what they would deposit it, directly into your wallet, that you don't even need a bank to go to be the intermediary. So our guest Simon Dixon once had a fascinating theory of what we might see for a prediction of the near future, is that he imagines a world where the bankers are going to be the ones outside in the streets in Zuccotti Park demanding that the Fed restore their authority over the monetary system.
Oh, that would be fantastic. Thoughts and prayers if the bankers lose their power. Thoughts and prayers. I'd be really bummed if that happened. Really, we'll all shed a tear. For watching, everybody. Please hit the like button, the subscribe button. Go to patreon.com/Graham Elwood and rockfin.com/Graham Elwood, where you can support the show. Also, I have a Bitcoin wallet, a Bitcoin Cash wallet, and an Ethereum wallet in the show notes. We're taking cryptocurrency. I have a Coinbase affiliation link. We're going to be getting on some other exchanges. So that's how you support the show. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. YouTube is unsubscribing us at an alarming rate. I have a PayPal button at grahamelwood.com. I even have a Venmo at Graham-Elwood. There's a lot of ways to support our show. We are getting crushed by YouTube. We've dipped under 73,000 subscribers because of YouTube. Thanks for supporting what we do.